I don't like this camera. I'm joking. Camera just gonna have to work for now, man. Camera just gonna have to work for now, man. Camera gonna have to work for now, man. I'm in I'm in shorts and a t-shirt and a workout shirt because it felt like summer today. I think it reached the 80s today, which is about, for the rest of the world watching, we were around 22 degrees Celsius. It was a nice day outside today. And then it started raining, and I think we're going to get a couple more days of cold because the temperature is about to drop to about 2 degrees Celsius, which is about, what's that, like 30, 40 Fahrenheit. So it will be dropping again. So I'm trying to enjoy some of the nice weather. I don't like when it gets too hot too fast. I don't like that. That's what be pissing me off against spring. It'll get super hot, then it'll start raining, then it gets musty and it gets all icky and foggy and whatnot. Like, give me some days in the 60s, the 50s, 60s, 70s. I want to be in that 50, 70 range until summer decides to turn everything up. You feel me? That's just me, though. Anyway, classy ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We have another mock draft ready for y'all today, this time from CBS Sports, as you all probably saw in the title. I'm not even going to waste too much time, but a couple of updates out there. I saw that ESPN dropped some of their Player of the Year awards for college basketball. I didn't really bookmark those. I didn't really have a vested interest to go over them. In going over them, what else? FIBA World Cup, FIBA World Cup, or Club World Cup, FIBA Club World Cup, or FIBA World Cup women's basketball has started. So the USA women played today. They won. I believe they played Senegal. Caitlin Clark had a good. You can always tell Caitlin Clark had a good game because that's what your notifications will tell you. Ryan Howard was the player of the game, though, even though I didn't see Ryan Howard name anywhere but Twitter. So shouts out to Ryan. I like the fact that on the USA team, Monique Billings made the roster. I'm really happy about that. I'm really happy about Sonia Citron not being picked either. Even though Kiki Ariafen is picked, I'm kind of glad that Sony didn't get picked because I want one of our superstars just focusing on recovery and deloading and getting ready for the season. Hopefully for the season about to start. WNBA update. They're still negotiating, I guess. Obviously, you all probably know by now, March 10th, or if you don't know, March 10th was the deadline. Was the proposed or given deadline by the WNBA when they were like, yeah, we gotta get this ish on the road, man. March 10th, if we didn't solve it, if nothing's solved by then, we're done. Now that date is looking a little fake and looking a little flaky. Looks like they were just throwing stuff, just to throw stuff out there because they are still in the process of negotiating. They said they had a negotiating meeting or they were in negotiations for 12 hours yesterday. That went from about 5 to 3 a.m. and players left at 3 a.m. and the WMBPA left at 5 a.m. or so. It sounds like they're actually trying to finish things, so maybe that's good. I don't know why. From the WNBA NBA perspective, I don't know what they got out of trying to play the long game in this, trying to put pressure on the players. I don't know if they were just trying to see if the players are going to accept some of the BS. And maybe now, since they realize the players aren't going for that the long game card, they can't play that anymore. So now they're actually trying to figure some stuff out. I don't know. But 12-hour meeting, if you think about it, that's the most work we've heard being put in on this new CBA since we knew that negotiations were going to start. So hopefully that trends in the right direction. But if you really think about it, that's the most focus or concentrated time effort that we've heard being put towards negotiations was yesterday on deadline day, on the proposed deadline day. So hopefully we get something good out of that. Let's go ahead and what's today? So this was 3 days ago. Sorry, I forgot what day it was for a second. I know we did a recent mock draft stream and I did a recent mock draft video, but like I said, as these mock drafts come in, I'm going to be updating. I'm trying to move some players around the list, and a lot of these draft lists are only looking at the first round, which I'm not mad at. But I'm trying to find if anyone has any second round picks. I want to see a full board of players who are going to declare for the WNBA draft. And I think you guys will probably like my next video the next video that I'm dropping is basically going to be my sleepers, some of my underrated players or underrated picks that I believe should be on a team in the WNBA draft. And I figured we should just go ahead and call this or give this a name. And I'm calling it the Veronica Burton, maybe the VB player. The VB player. What's the VB player? Veronica Burton, if you don't know her story, I don't know it all the way through, but I remember Veronica. She was drafted from Northwestern, I believe, where she picked up the nickname. What was it? The backcourt burglar. Something so. I remember I followed maybe half her senior year season. She gets drafted. She gets cut, I believe. I forget who drafted her. But she got drafted, she got cut. Was it Dallas that drafted her? Why am I thinking Connecticut? Maybe it was Connecticut that drafted her, cut her. She went to Dallas, or the other way around. And she got cut. The expansion team in the expansion draft, I believe she was picked up by the Golden State Valkyries through the expansion draft, or they just signed her as a free agent anyway. I think because she got released. But she was a player that had the talent to make a roster, should have made a roster. I think ended up being cut because of the limited roster spots in the WNBA, which hopefully this new CBA fixes, and ends up making the expansion team, getting signed to the expansion team, leading that team to the playoffs in their inaugural year, while being, as I always say, the only point of offense on the team, right? She leads them to the playoffs, and I guess her bag got crazy. Yes, she played a couple games in Dallas and Connecticut, I believe. I don't know if there's one more team. I might be tripping. There might be one more team, but I know she was in Dallas. I know she was in Connecticut. And this is kind of my problem because I'm not sure how I feel about roster expansion, roster sizes. What number are you going to give the developmental players? I'm not sure about any of that. I really hoped for 14-player teams, 14-player rosters. 11 to 12 just leaves too much room to hold some of these VB type players, because here are some players that are well talented, definitely professional talents, but they will get cut just because of space, not because of necessarily they don't have the talent, but they'll get cut really for two main reasons. And we should probably call this the Alexis Morris rule too. They'll get cut due to the seniority factor, that a lot of these veterans in the W get the benefit of the doubt to make rosters. I've never understood why. Truthfully, if you want the best product on the floor, it's not that some of these vets aren't good or aren't still killing, but some of these vets, I know for a fact they don't have the ceiling that some of these players coming in have, right? It's just especially in women's basketball, it's literally a new skill level, a new age of basketball coming in. So the fact that they keep giving priority to the vets, it's something else. It would be different if there were retirement opportunities or whatnot. You have to have a vet on this team just in terms of mentorship and whatever. Cool, I get that. But the fact that the vets get get so much of the benefit of the doubt, that some of the more talented players and some of the players that would move the game forward get cut, I've never really rocked with that. So usually they get cut due to seniority, and Usually, the other reason they get cut, the other main reasons, the second main reason they get cut is due to the limited roster spots. So I think the players that I'm going to be reviewing on the next video, I'm just going to call them VB type players, where these are players that have the talent, have the skill, have really have that it factor of how to push the game forward and pushing women's basketball forward. The players that might get overlooked, might make a training day, training day, might make a training camp, might make a training camp roster and get cut, even though we could look at a couple of players on their team and be like, wait, why did she get cut? Why did she get cut? But you know what I'm saying? So and so still there. You feel me? So that's basically what my video is going to be reviewing. I'm marking it right now. I'm gonna call them VB type players because those are the players I want to see on actual rosters that I think should be on rosters. So hopefully the new CBA grants some of these players those spots, because I will be real, man. In following women's college basketball the past couple of years, there's so many players. Would call them role, if we're watching the MNBA, we're gonna call them role players, right? The MNBA is loaded with spots looking for sharp role players, right? There are niches that you can fit, even though that's becoming kind of linear day by day, even more linear day by day. It's still a role player superstar type league, or a superstar role player type league. So what you're going to be establishing if you're going to make it in the MNBAs, I'm either going to be a solid role player, and I might get the opportunity to show that I can be a superstar as well, but it's always going to start you off as a role player. In the WNBA, it's just like, if you're not damn near superstar-esque or have superstar level type development that's visible, it's going to be rough for you. You might not even make the team. You almost have to be you almost have to be a gen talent just to make the roster, which I think is so backwards, because again, if I was just looking in terms of basketball skill, a lot of these players that do make the roster wouldn't be on the roster. That's just me though. So yeah, you could throw in the Alexis Morris rule too. Some of these vets, man, it's a good thing I'm not a GM, because boy, I'm not against keeping certain vets on for mentorship and whatnot, but you better be able to mentor and produce on this team. I'm not just gonna have you around doing nothing, especially if your game ain't like that anyway. You feel me? So that's all I have to say on that aspect. I really hope the CBA clears that up. But without further ado, we're going to break down this CBS Sports mock draft. The other thing I wanted to bring up that I saw, floating around social media today were these Our Fam revelations, which I find hilarious. Now, full disclosure, before we jump into that, remember at the beginning, I was on Twitter at the beginning of all this, and I did see that I did watch a highlight clip of Our Fam, right? And in this clip of Our Fam, in this Our Fam highlight clip, I liked what I saw. It was a singular clip. It wasn't game footage, but it was a singular clip. I believe she was in the paint. She showed patience. She showed composure. Looked off who she was supposed to look off. Got herself a bucket. Gave herself a nice floater. And I said something along the lines of, just off of that floater, I can tell there's potential here. I said something like that. I was like, off of this floater, I can tell, she has a good handle of the game. That was the very first thing I said about Our Fam. Full disclosure. I didn't watch a game of hers. I didn't even watch highlight clips of her. I saw her name get posted by one of these outlets. I believe it was ESPN. I watched the highlight clip because I wanted to know, well, what was all this hype? Because I see her name everywhere. I saw a clip of her, and literally from the singular clip, I was just like, oh, okay. Just off of the processing, I like it. So fast forward a couple months. If y'all have been paying attention to the live streams, you all have kind of seen my descent in approval of our fam as a number one pick in the WNBA draft. And that's what led me to basically go live a couple days ago or maybe a week ago and tell y'all, yo, after doing the research, after looking up for myself and not just watching highlight clips or listening to some of these outlets for the past couple months, and I said this on the last live stream, so if you're looking for proof, you can go look. It's not that I didn't say this, but I did say I'm not seeing it. I don't see it with our fam. I'm not sure what we're looking at. And really, it was actually a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago, that Hunter Cruz on Twitter posted a video clip of our fam, and he posted her stat line, and her stat line was kind of on some Lauren Betts versus Reagan Beers type stat line. It was on some sorry-ish, like 7 points, 2 of 7 from the field, something single. It was a triple single, as Charles Barkley would call it. And I was just like, huh. So it raised the first red flag for me, because I'm like, all this our fam talking I'm hearing, I've yet to see a stat line, a clip of her dominating overseas, which is what I'm thinking you need. If you're going to be a number one pick in the WNBA, obviously I expect, this might be on a Luka Doncic type beat. She must be dominating overseas. She's 19 years old as a pro. She must be holding her own very well overseas. And I didn't see that. Ever since I saw that first clip of our fam, I did not see that, which led to me making that conclusion or that revelation about a week ago, right? Now all I saw on social media after this FIBA, I guess Spain was played today as well in the FIBA World Cup. All I'm seeing on social media now is how our fam is not the number one pick. We don't know how. All I'm seeing are comments about, how did our fam get picked number one? How was she projected number one? How did this? How did that? And I'm just like, ain't this something? Did I not point this out? Did I not point it out? I came to y'all, I said, yo, I watched. I even made a video about it. I said, yeah, I don't know who said our fam's number one or top two, but I do not see it. And now the world sees it as well. Someone's trying to, they think they have the light. Someone thinks they have the light when it comes to scouting, because they're out here trying to, oh man, I found this prospect from overseas. And didn't I tell y'all? I told y'all this months ago. Didn't I tell y'all some of these scouts are doing the same thing that they did in the MNBA when it came to players like Victor Wembanyama, right? And I told y'all the same way how they were like, oh, French basketball player, we got Wemby, the second draft, or the draft after Wemby. They were picking all these light-skinned French kids, right? I'm just like, what is this? Is French persuasion what you think you're gonna pick up the next Wemby? I'm pretty sure Gen talents don't flow like that. Now everyone's looking at France for the next. That's not even how it works anyway. But I said, I hope we're not doing the same thing in the WNBA. I said this, and low key, whoever said our fam was gonna go top two, I think was trying to be on that type of beat. Hey, I found the next overseas European kid who's going to be great, who's going to dominate. She's a Gen talent. And it was just like, yeah, she's going to be the number one pick. And someone put that out there, and these outlets ran with it. And now, bunch of international eyes are on her now. Not saying that they weren't before, but obviously you're watching FIBA World Cup. Caitlin Clark's on Team USA. Angel Reese is on Team USA. Paige Beckers is on Team USA. A lot of eyes are going to be on the tournament now, even with the other countries as well. And now a lot of people are seeing, because all they've been seeing is our fam top two, our fam number one pick, our fam going to Dallas, our fam going to Minnesota. I don't even think people have seen our fam drop out of the top three in terms of WNBA mock draft projections. So now they're like, oh, I get a chance to watch our fam today because she's playing for Spain. I believe along with Iana Martin as well, who was projected in the first round as well. And now people get to see our fam, and y'all having the same revelation that I had with Lauren Betts a couple of years ago. Yeah, yeah. There's not this again, maybe super high ceiling, but that I don't think we're at a point where we should be calling her a projected number one pick. And I just again I find this funny because y'all gotta keep it a buck with me. Did I not warn y'all? Did I not tell y'all this before social media blew up with these sentiments? Did I not say, hey yo, look, I'm not with it. I'm not moved. Did I not come here and tell y'all? I told y'all, bro. Y'all gotta drop a like for the pre-site. I don't know what the opposite of hindsight is. I'm kind of having a slow moment right now. For foresight, there we go. For the pre-site, I told you I was having a slow moment. Drop a like for the foresight, man. Drop a like for the foresight, cause low key, one thing about my channel, even though I feel like a bot when I hit the record button. One thing about this channel, we have predicted a bunch of things correctly. We've predicted a lot of things correctly on this channel. No lie. We could go back to when I told y'all Sandy was going to get fired. That was 2 years ago. We can go back to the players that I think are going to be picked in the draft, what I think teams are going to do, who I think is going to win in the playoffs. We've predicted a lot of things correctly. Who wins MVP, DPOY, all this stuff. What was it? Which players get signed from training camp? We've predicted a lot of things correctly. So low key, I ain't looking for credit, but yo, y'all gotta big up the channel, man. Big up the channel, cause I try to. I'm not even just saying these things trying to look for credit or stuff like that. But it's just like when I feel like I see something that's about to happen or see the motion or the momentum flowing in a certain way, I literally let y'all know. You know what I mean? I actually let y'all know, and then we watch this stuff play out together. So low key, I feel like y'all should drop a like on the live stream, or just find a video and drop a like, because low key, mid key, we be calling a lot of this stuff out. We actually predict a lot of this stuff. I'm literally trying to pull up the mock draft. I'm sorry, this thing's taking a while, but I'm gonna pull up Tankathon's. Without further ado, I'm gonna pull up Tankathon's mock draft just so I could see a couple more players, so I'm not forgetting anyone that I want to see get drafted. And then we're gonna go over the CBS Sports thing. But if you guys been watching me, if you guys follow this channel, you guys have known that what everyone's figuring out now, we did go over that. And I did say, hey, I wasn't convinced. Even with Iana Martin, I know they were saying she had a decent game today. I'm still not convinced with her either, because if I'm not mistaken the player, by the way, oh, you know what? I actually might be mistaken the player. Now that I think about it, from what I've seen about the comments say about Iana Martin, I might be mistaken the player. There was another player in past projections that I watched. Maybe her last name was Martin, but I think she had like 3 names. I don't think it was an Iana Martin. Now that I think about it, I might be off, but it was like a Martin Carrios or something like that. I might be mistaking Iana Martin. So I'll retract my comments for now about her. If it is the same player, if it is the lefty, maybe if anyone's watching the stream, y'all can let me know. If it is the lefty player, the player that's like left hand dominant, y'all can let me know. But I might be mistaken the player. I might be confusing Iana Martin with somebody else. But they both play overseas, so hopefully I'm not making that mistake. But I might be confusing the player. So if I am, my fault. No disrespect to Iana Martin. I just got you confused with somebody else. But they're saying Iana Martin had a good game as well. I'm happy that we get to see a lot of, maybe not a lot, but we get to see a good number of draft prospects, and really Team USA going up against a heightened level of international play as well. It's the same thing that's happening for the men is happening for the women. I love to see the game grow. This is why I cover women's basketball more so than men's basketball because I just like seeing the game grow. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and finally jump into the CBS mock draft. Those are basically all the points I wanted to bring up. If my laptop would like to cooperate with me. I see on Tankathon, we could just go over Tankathons in the meantime since this thing wants to refresh in the middle of the live stream. Tankathon's 2026 WNBA mock draft still has our fam going first. Usually Tankathon updates to what's going on around. I don't know what their algorithm is. I don't know how they run it. But usually, oh, you know what? Now that I think about it, now that I just said that, Tankathon might be making this thing run very slowly. Because usually when I pull up Tankathon, this thing starts to run really, really slowly. Damn, so maybe this was a bad idea. Okay, hopefully it wasn't a bad idea. Maybe if I double tap it, sorry. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. My fault about that. But you know what's funny? We can look at the stats right now. Our fam number 1, they do have her stats, so I guess that's good. She will be 4-month 20, so by the time WNBA season starts, or if it's running, our fam will be about 20 years old. She's averaging for Valencia. She's averaging 11.9 points a game, 7.4 rebounds, 2.1 assists, zero point 0.6 blocks, 2.4 steals. And she's a center, 6'4" center. I don't think if our fam is going to be drafted into the WNBA, I don't think she's going to play center. Those stats to me are guard numbers. Sorry, not guard number. Wing numbers. I'm looking at a wing. I'm looking at maybe one of the best wings available, or finally a dynamic wing. Because again, the WNBA lacks a lot of dynamic wings. I'm talking a wing that can get their own bucket, defend, rebound, might be able to facilitate here and there, bring the ball up the court. What we would probably consider a point forward. I need that from the wing position because we don't have a lot of that. What I see with our fam, where I think she could be effective, is not at that big spot. Her max, she should be playing the 4, and that's it. Leave her at the 4. I don't want to see no our fam. From what I've seen on our fam, I don't want to see our fam past the 4 position. She has to slide into 5 out of necessity, somebody in foul trouble, whatever. But where she should be, if she's going to be a first round draft pick, it's not going to be at that 5 spot. Not averaging no 11, 7, and 2 and 2.6 steals. 2.6 blocks, I'd be like, okay, maybe she's holding her own on the block. Yeah, 0.6 blocks and you want her to play center? How many blocks is Reagan Beers averaging? probably a little bit more than that. We already know Betts is averaging more than that. Who else? Medina Okot, she's probably averaging more than that. Those numbers do not spell center. You feel me? Those numbers don't spell a big or a capable big. I don't think so. I think our fam really might be one of the more if we're going to hype her as this first round draft pick, at least hype her the right way. Because whoever hyped her, I feel, again, was on that Wemby timing that we found the next Euro prospect. I feel like that's the timing they were on. But if we're going to hype her, at least hype her the right way. Because from what I've seen, what I'm seeing with her stats, those look like a wing. And she's 6'4", so maybe she's the alien-esque wing from overseas. She might not be the Gen talent. She's not going to be the Gen talent that transformed or is the franchise player for your franchise player for your franchise player. But maybe she's just a really dynamic role player. Maybe she's a dynamic star. Maybe her ceiling is star. But that's good. Maybe her ceiling is best at her position, best at the three spot, capable at the four spot, potent at the four spot. Well, no, but those stats don't read dominance. If you're going to be a number one pick from overseas, I need to see you dominating whatever league you're in. You're not even doing that. 11-7, 11-7-2. Well, you're not not even playing better than Lauren Betts. How the hell? Yes, I'm sorry, guys. I can't pull up Tankathon anymore. Tankathon really makes my laptop run super slow. I might have to delete. Might have to delete the tab. I'm sorry about that. I really think this is Tankathon's doing. So let me go ahead and delete this. We're gonna have to go strictly CBS Sports. Yeah, those stats aren't even better than Lauren Betts, bro. And if they are comparing you at the big spot, those are the comparisons they're going to be making. They're going to be like, man, Lauren Betts is getting pushed out of damn near pushed out of the lotto picks. And here's a player that you all are saying are something like people are gonna catch on to something's not adding up. And that's what I think. Again, this is where I think a lot of the curiosity came from. Is like this is people's first time getting to watch our fam, and they've been hearing about her all season, all college basketball season, really. Now they get to watch her, and they realize she's. I'm excusing. I'm not saying everyone can't have a bad game or can't have bad games. Not saying that, but from what I feel, people just watched and probably said, "Yo, she's better than Betts. She's better than Ocott. She's better than Beers. You feel me? She's better than Strack. Is Strack a senior? Damn, I can't remember if Claire Strack's a senior or not. But she's not really big. A lot of people are going to be looking at her like I don't see it. They damn near going to push Lauren Betts back into the lottery. They're damn near going to make Medina Ocott look that much better because y'all were just hyping her up like mud, and now it's not living up to the hype. People go now the mock draft, it's gonna change. It's gonna change because a lot of people about to call cap on some of these outlets for hyping up our fam, and it's low key not even our fam's fault. What if she was just the best point? What if she was just a perspective wing? What if they saw her and they were like, oh man, she gonna be Wemby? First of all, they should have never made her said she was a number one prospect or projection when she can't dunk. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, oh, our fam number one. Oh, she can probably dunk. She can't even dunk. You're hyping off of Dominique Malonga. Cool, but Dominique, from what we've seen with Dom is going to be nice. Probably will have that starting spot in Seattle next season. But Dom, we can see the gen talent flashes with Dom. They're very present. Well, we don't really see that within our fam, bruh. So I don't know. I don't know how to go about this. What if our fam was just a really tall wing? Why don't we just keep her at the wing spot? Why don't we just keep her at the wing spot? Maybe sometimes play her at the four. We can use a couple more fours. Forwards run the league anyway. We could use a little bit more competition at the four spot because outside of Stewie, Fee, I really consider Fee. Yes, Fee can play some four, but I really consider Fee a wing herself as well. Because what is Fee? 6'2", 6'3". If you put Fee at that three spot, she'll be doing work. But if you want to put her at that four spot, Stewie, Asia, Fee, the usual suspects. Alyssa Thomas, four, sure, but as Asia showed you, you put Alyssa Thomas against a more modern four, she gonna get cooked. You feel me? She gonna get cooked. We could use a couple more fours. If that's our fam ceiling, cool. But I think she's just a tall wing. Maybe she's just a 3 times better player than Gabby Williams. I'll take it. Again, we don't have wings like that in the W, so I'll take it. Finally close this tab. I think people got our fam wrong. And it's not really her fault. It's not really her fault. Someone was just trying to show they got the light. That's all it is. Someone was trying to show they got the light. Someone was trying to show that, oh yeah, I got the power. I know about this. Oh, I saw this. It's almost as if they said, I saw this 18-year-old dunk in a overseas game. She's going to be the number one prospect in next year's draft without really even knowing the game. So I guess a lot of us got baited. We got to take some of y'all out the scouting departments, bro. We got to take some of y'all out the scouting departments, bro, because ain't no way we got baited like that, bro. But at least I did my own research, see? Because I didn't want to feed y'all misinformation. So that's why, what I'm saying? I made these tweets, I made those comments myself, then I looked, and then after I did my research, I let y'all know. So at least there's that. You know what I'm saying? At least there's that. I'm really trying to get to this page, guys. I forget this tab really does slow down. It really slows down my entire laptop. I don't know what it is. Probably got some malware on it. My laptop protected, but golly, this slows down everything. Let me go back to. Let me see if the tabs work. Yeah, my YouTube studio is also bugging. Sorry about this, guys. Low key, everything is bugging right now, but I'm really trying to get back to the CBS Sports Draft. CBS, in similarity to Tankathon, they had our fam first as well. Again, not sure. I don't know what CBS Sports is doing, but I don't really. Obviously, they're not the go-to outlet for mock drafts. I might have to start making my own because I don't really know who. I don't know who they have in these departments putting together these mock drafts. It's almost as if they're piggybacking off of the other outlets. The other outlets look, oh, they got our fam there. You know what? Let's put our fam fourth. Let's mix it up. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know who's running these departments in CBS Sports, but I don't think they watch too much. The the way how you know, the way how you know some of them don't watch is because why are all of them saying the same things? You see? There's no way they would be watching and people wouldn't have a differing opinion, especially for the editors that work in some of these spots. Like everyone wouldn't be saying, "Oh yeah, our fam undisputed," unless she actually was like consensus number one. People wouldn't be looking at it like, "Oh yeah, she's definitely number one." There wouldn't be so much agreement. There wouldn't be so much agreement. It would actually be people disagreeing. Oh, I think Betts is number one. I think Olivia Miles is number one. I think Easy Fudd is number one. The fact that we keep seeing the same names up at the top of the list lead me to believe that a lot of these outlets are just piggybacking. Anyway, finally got my chat up. Sorry about that. I just realized I didn't clear the rain off of my glasses. All right, I finally see the comments. Demonad, what's up, yo? Demonad, good to see you. Always in the live streamer. Appreciate it. Thank you for the patience. This is going to be, I'm going to try for a 50-minute stream today. I'm going to keep it at the 45, 50-minute mark because I don't like going over an hour, especially for some BS streams. We'll see our fam versus Angel Reese soon. Spain is playing USA in a couple of days. I think, isn't that Sunday? Damn, I'm going to be busy like all of Sunday. I'll be busy all of Sunday, but I'll record it. I'll probably watch it. Can our fam shoot to be a 3? That's a good question. From what I've seen a little reluctance on her 3 ball. It's not that I wouldn't say she's scared to shoot the 3 ball. She just hasn't been given that yet. Hasn't been given that green light. Like, hey, you're like, we need you to shoot. Like, start shooting the 3 ball more. But because she's not scared to do so, that's a chance. If I'm a team and I have that space and time, that's a chance I'd be willing to take. Hey, if you want to come in, if we can get you to a point where you're where you're shooting 35, 36% from three at the three spot, then she's going to be unstoppable. But if you want to develop that in the meantime, while she plays off regular talent, plays off of the skills that should be accruing during the season, during implementation into the W, that wouldn't be bad either. I just think that Awa is really a three. That's where you have to have her. It's giving me Fee vibes. Maybe this spot she kills in is at the three. It's not at that. It's not at the big spot. Alpha Fam is not a number one pick. This is still Demonac. Alpha Fam is not a number one pick, but no one is. But no one is, honestly. No superstars this draft, in my opinion. That's a good point. No superstars in the draft, yeah. Like what you're basically saying is no gen talents per se in this draft. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. It really is. It really does feel like a low key a VB draft. A VB draft. Now, I will disagree because I think that there are some gen talents. I think there are some diamonds in the rough, but I can understand this. This kind of does look like a role player type draft, a VB type draft. Again, I'm putting that out there. VB player. A lot of these are VB players. I feel like I'm kind of disrespecting some of them by calling them VB players. But Veronica Burton, she was an all-star this year, yes? Or what was Veronica Burton? Most improved player this year. Was Veronica Burton an all-star? Somebody help me out in the chat. VB might have been an all-star this year. And I'm trying to remember if she made. No, she didn't make second team. Did she make second team? Why am I tripping? Why do I not remember what Veronica Burton? I know she won most improved player of the year. She led the Val to playoffs. I'm trying to remember if she was an all-star. I don't remember seeing her at the all-star game, but I also didn't watch the all-star game, so I might be tripping. I don't remember. But when you're looking at this first round, when you're looking at the second round picks, yeah, some names might not jump out to the masses, but for me, I'm looking at this draft like a gold mine, and I know there are some gold mine players here because of how many players I want the Mystics to pick up. And trust, the Mystics are my second team. Y'all know I'm a Libs fan through and through, but we gave up our first round pick. And this is low-key one of the best in terms of if you're looking for glue player, if you're looking for specialty players, let's call them specialty players. If you're looking for a shooter, you're looking for a rotational big, you're looking for a stretch, you're looking for a stretch five, you're looking for a rotational point guard, assist point guard. This is a specialty draft. So yeah, there might not be many gen talents, there might not be many superstars, but if you're looking for a specialty player, yeah, you might have to develop them as well, but this is the draft you want to have that pick in. So I just don't understand why we gave that up. 2025, okay. 2025, I can understand, but again, I wouldn't be told that. I told them not to trade for Tasha Cloud, but hindsight 2020. But me, again, if I was playing my GM, I'm not trading any draft pick in a draft that I know Sonia Citron is in. And I'm also not trading in a draft. I'm not trading my draft pick, especially my first round draft pick, in a draft where I know I can get a solid backup point guard, knowing I'm about to lose my current backup point guard. For instance, Sarah Ashley Barker was picked 9th. What was the first round pick New York had last year? If I'm not mistaken, it would have been the 7th pick, correct? So if you wanted, you could have been picked up a Tahina Pow Pow or a Sarah Ashley Barker. I just wouldn't have given up my pick, knowing there are going to be holes in my team. If you're like, okay, we're gonna trade that first round pick, which I believe was a 7th pick, and your 2026 first round pick, where all of these players are gonna be coming out, I just would for Tom again. And this is where when that trade happened, I told you if Tasha Cloud was 28, cool. But for 33, what is she, 33? 33, 35. I think I'm gonna say 33. I'm gonna take some years off if I since I don't remember. For a 33-year-old Tasha Cloud, now you look stupid. So I low key. I'm just like, okay, let's see what the Mystics can do with these picks, because the Mystics, I'm gonna say this on stream, the Mystics can be competing for a championship if they play their cards right in the draft. Again, I believe they should have picked up Sarah Ashley Barker instead of Georgia Amore, but they are okay as long as they play their cards right in this draft. They had a really good draft last year. Georgia, Kiki, Sony, two of whom were all-stars last season. If they play their cards right in this draft as well, they will be okay. They will be okay. They can be competing for a championship. I believe in the next 2 seasons. We'll make the playoffs next year, especially depending on draft picks. We'll make the playoffs next year. We will make the playoffs next year. But yeah, we could be competing for a championship within the next 3 years. I'll just say the next 3 years. Let me check the camera real quick. All right, camera's good. Just wanted to make sure. Let me read more comments. I know it's taking forever to get to the get to this actual mock draft, but let me read the comments. Eddie chat. Demonat, what happened to Lotson? Falling off a cliff? I don't think anything bad happened to Lotson. Lotson's cool. She's chilling. She's the same player. I think she's chilling. I'm not one of the people that drops their stock off of whatever they do in their senior season. I don't think we should be paying too much attention to the senior season because, like I said, the 4 or 5 years they were there, that's about to run out anyway. But look at their work throughout their 4 years. Look at the big picture of their work. They should have improved. Their senior year should be their best year. If they don't have the best senior year because they transferred, they went to a different team, or they just had it, their senior year was their off year, I'm not necessarily going to hold it against them. You can look at it for different indicators, for different markers, different factors you're trying to see. Oh, she still struggles with this. This is why this happened. Or this subpar season or subpar aspect of the game. Well, we saw that when she was a freshman. We saw that when she was a sophomore, junior. So it's kind of damn near like, let's introduce another rule. It's almost like the Lauren Betts rule. Okay, senior season. I'm not going to hold that against her too much because some of the things I've seen her do in her senior year, which caused her to have this somewhat subpar senior year, I saw in her freshman, sophomore, junior year. These were problems that didn't get fixed. So I'm not necessarily going to trip because I know what it is. That's just how I see the draft. That's how I see the players. I try not to treat the players' senior season as a power ranking. You got to look at the full picture. Yeah, sometimes, yes. I'm not saying that sometimes their senior years can't be indicators, but that's what you got to take them for. You can't just take them for. I wouldn't say, oh, they had a bad season. They're not going to be good in the pros. I don't even know why certain mock drafts get adjusted due to the season the player's having. Because a player like Tanai Lotson, she could be super ready for the pros. I mean, look at Tahina Paopao. Yes, Tahina Paopao played well. She won a national championship, got drafted. But Tahina could have been one of those players. She came into the pros and wasn't killing. She could have been super average, right? But she came into the W and was still on the same ish that she was in college. She was finding her groove, until Jordan Canada came back. But I think Tahina Paopao could have definitely started the entire season. She could have had a starting spot the entire season, the way she was playing. So we can't. I'm not going to harp too much on. I just try not to make. I try not to make the power ranking, the senior year, a power ranking type thing. But I think Tanai Lotson's fine. It's just the team she's on. Dawn didn't really. I expect a big run from them for March. I expect a big performance from her during March as well. But Dawn didn't really. I'd say during the season, Dawn didn't really put her in a position to excel. Put her in a position to be a part of a team, but she didn't put her in a position to excel. Some of this is Tanaya Lotson, yes, because she won't shoot the damn ball, but that's I'm putting that on the program. I know I put a lot of stuff on the program, but that actually is on the program. You brought the leading scorer in the nation to your team, and she can't even average 18 because you want to play team ball. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with playing team ball, but you literally have a killer on your team. Whatever. Love Miles, but the defense worries me. I think Miles is okay on defense. The issue is that she's on a team where she has to low key let the O shine more than her defense. She's on a team where she low key I can excuse the bad defense. Even though I'm not the type of person that I don't want to excuse the bad defense. I can understand. She and Marta Suarez are literally the only offensive options, or damn near the only players with a bag on their team. The only source of offense. It doesn't help that they're both average on. It doesn't help that they're both average on defense, but I think she has to do so much offensive carrying that I understand it. If you were to take Olivia Miles and Marta Suarez off of TCU, they're a D3 team. If you were to take Hannah Hidalgo off of Notre Dame, they're a D2 team. You see what I'm saying? I can excuse it. I don't think Miles's defense is truly that sorry. I just think that because she's in a spot where she gets away with it, they'll do it. Most superstars will take defensive possessions off. Most superstars aren't trying to be two-way players. I'll leave it at that. Best place for our fam is Lynx. She'll be a beast learning from Fee and Cheryl Reeves. It will give the Lynx flexibility if they pick up our fam. Anyway, caught up with the chat. Let's go ahead and get into the CBS mock draft. I'm a little bit past 50 minutes, but I definitely do want to cut this off before an hour. All right. So on the CBS Sports Draft, this is CBS Sports Draft mock draft 2.0. Number one, they have our fam going to Dallas. Like I said, I don't know why our fam is that high. If Minnesota is high on our fam, that could possibly work. But well, again, we just don't know what Minnesota wants to do. If Minnesota does pick up an our fam, they have to recognize that she has to play the 4. If she can help Alana Smith out in the paint, they will be okay. Fee at the 3 will give them size on the perimeter. But if you, I don't know if I believe in the interior presence of our fam, but she might provide just enough coverage that Fee can also float, which might be even more dangerous than just having Fee at the 4. So low key, it could work. If Fee is able to float and be a wing, and then maybe interchange, maybe our fam gets to float at that 3 spot. Fee gets to play the 4, even though it's not her. Well, a lot of people say 4 is her natural position. So if Fee gets to float in and out of 4 and 3 because they have our fam there, that might be potent. So maybe Minnesota should go for an our fam. There's strategy there. There's something there. There's something there if our fam goes to Minnesota. But CBS Sports at number 2 has Olivia Miles projected to go to Minnesota. I can see that happening as well. Olivia Miles, definitely a top 3 pick. At number 3, they have AZ Fudd going to Seattle. I don't know. Kurt Miller has been seen at a lot of Connecticut, a lot of UConn Husky games. So I have no doubt in my mind that Dallas is definitely going with the other A. They're going with AZ. I don't think AZ would be falling to number 3. Only way AZ falls below that or out of lottery is if Dallas doesn't go her. We just don't see it. Let's be real. AZ's locked. If there are no superstars in the draft, AZ's locked at number one. I don't see AZ Fudd going to Seattle. A lot of projections had Olivia Miles going to Seattle. I could see that more so than AZ Fudd. But on the projection, on CBS Sports' projection, they have AZ Fudd going to Seattle. At number 4, they have Lauren Betts going to the Mystics. Go ahead and skip that. At number 5, they have Kiki Rice going to Chicago. Like I said about Kiki Rice, it depends. This is a great pick depending on what Kiki Rice you gonna get. If you get an aggressive, if you get an attacking Kiki Rice who's looking for her shot, this is a great pick. I'm fine with it. Cool. Kiki don't have to pass the ball. She doesn't have to be a facilitator as long as she hunts her shot. And this can't be a part-time thing, by the way. That's the only thing that worries me about this, is because I don't know Kiki Rice innately as a shot hunter. But if that's what she's on, if she's a type player where she's not necessarily a system player, like this is one of the situations where you need and you're looking for an ego, especially a scoring ego. If she's been looking for the opportunity to be a non-system player, go crazy. They need a selfish scoring point guard. Not selfish to obviously detriment of the team, but they need a selfish scoring guard. So if that's going to be Kiki, I don't think she is that innately, but she has to understand this looking to score shit can't be no part-time thing. You are as long as Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso stay at the level they are at. That cannot be a part-time thing. You need to be looking to score as long as it takes them to successfully run 2 options and get comfortable running 2 options out of the pick and roll. You are a full-time scorer. All right. 6, they have Flau'jae Johnson going to Toronto. If Flau'jae Johnson doesn't go 5, I don't think Flau'jae Johnson goes to 6. You see what I'm saying? I don't think if Flau'jae Johnson isn't lotto outside the lotto, I don't think she goes 6. But Nellen Gloma projected 7th pick to expansion team Portland. 8, Gianna Neepkins projected to go to the Golden State Valkyries. I really hope that doesn't happen. Mystics, please use the first pick on Gianna Neepkins. I'm not against a Cody McMahon either. Low-key, not against the Cody McMahon. We need someone to generate free throws. I like the fact that Gianna Neepkins can be a system player and she can also get buckets herself, because that's what she was doing for 3-4 years at Utah. So I like that she can be a system player and an ISO player. I wouldn't mind getting Cody McMahon too. What about Gianna Neepkins for Cody McMahon 9? Marta Suarez, we need a big. We definitely need a bruiser. I'm not mad with Cody McMahon going to the Mystics. If we don't go Gianna Neepkins, I'm not mad with Cody McMahon, because we still need a 3. I like that she's not scared to shoot. Obviously, it helps having a 45% 3-point shooter on the floor, but I'm not mad at a Cody McMahon to the Mystics. That might be a backup play. It might be a backup play. At number 9, they have Gabriela Jaquez going to the Mystics. I don't see that happening at all. I also think Gabriela Jaquez is too high here. At number 10, they have Raven Johnson going to Indiana. I don't know if Raven Johnson should be a first-round pick. I don't know if Indiana, I don't know who Indiana would be looking for, truthfully. Number 11, they have Marta Suarez going to the Mystics. Good job, CBS Sports. Good job. I'll give y'all praise for that one. Good job, Marta. That's she would either be number 9 or number 11 if I was playing my GM. I like that. Marta Suarez to the Mystics. I like that. Number 11. I like that. Number 12, they have Tanaya Lotson going to Connecticut. I don't know if Connecticut would be high on picking up another slasher that doesn't shoot, but again, if you want to work with her, you have a top scorer on your hands. And number 13, they have Janiyah Barker going to Atlanta. I don't know if Janai Barker goes first round. It really gets iffy after the 12th after after the 12th pick. I don't think Janai Barker would be going before Medina Okut if Medina Okut decides to go pro. Number 14, they have Ayana Martin going to Seattle, overseas player, our fam's Spanish teammate. And at number 15, they have Medina Okut going to Connecticut. I think if Medina Okut doesn't return for another year, she will go top 12. I can see Raven Johnson maybe going late first round. I don't see Janiyah Barker going first round. I think towards outside of those 9 picks, the top 9 picks, I think it's going to, there is no clear direction. Outside of that top 10, there is no clear direction. Teams might actually pick up the players that they want, that they think can fill their needs. That's really what I think. So let me check the chat real quick because I believe we are right on an hour. Let me read the comments. Demonat. Let me see. Catch up with the comments. I wanted Lotson at USC. She would have averaged 20 points this season. Lotson times Jazzy Davidson would actually be dope. And I'm pretty sure they'd welcome that as well. They'd take a lot of defensive pressure off of Jazzy and some of the other players as well. Definitely would have averaged at least 20. Oh, yeah. They need that. USC needed that. USC would probably still be ranked if they had Tanai Lotson. Given Juju was out for the season. I like Marta Suarez. What do you think of her? I love that she can stretch the floor. Do you think she's starter level? Hey, man, I have a whole video on how I think Marta Suarez is the gen talent, is a low-key diamond in the rough. I think she's the gen talent this draft. I think I'd make the argument that she could be the best player coming out of the draft. Like, she could be the best player in the draft, coming out of the draft. I think she's a hidden gen talent. If Marta Suarez puts it all together, it's not that she can stretch the floor. Yes, she can stretch the floor. She can play a little point forward. She can bring the ball up. She has good composure, good IQ. She knows how to find teammates. She knows how to pass the ball. A lot of holes in her game. I'm not going to sit here and say that didn't, but I scouted her ass. So defensively, definitely needs some work, but that's okay. A little bit of training can change that. But in terms of the raw talent, in terms of the processing, the IQ, I'm a huge fan of Marta Suarez. I think she can be one of the best fours in the W. I think she can be one of the best players in the W. Is she starter level? I think she can be all-star level. I wouldn't if she got the burn that if she got Mystics burn, where we actually play our rookies, our reconstructing rookies. If she got Mystics burn, I can see Marta Suarez with a 10-5-3 season. A 10-5-3 rookie season. Maybe an 11, depends on how much burn she gets, but I can see her with a 10-5-3 rookie season. And if you put the pieces together with Marta Suarez, bro, the way I'm seeing the puzzle right now, she won't just be a starter, she'll be an all-star. I think you're looking at an all-star in terms of Marta Suarez. Absolutely. Out of the draft, out of the projections, a lot of these players could be all-stars. You have Awafam, Olivia Miles, AZ Fudd. Lauren Betts could be an all-star. Yeah, just again with the right development, she could be an all-star. Kiki Rice, yeah, she could be an all-star depending on what Kiki Rice you get. I'd be more lenient on that. I think the guaranteed all-stars are probably Olivia Miles. Depends on how active AZ gets. If she doesn't get pigeonholed, I'm not trying to account for the fan vote right now, but Olivia Miles, Flau'jae Johnson. There is no Cody McMahon on this mock draft by CBS Sports, which is kind of wild. I think Cody McMahon would definitely be drafted before Gabriela Jaquez. Marta Suarez. Did I say Gianna Neepkins? I like Gianna Neepkins for all-star as well. Taniyah Lotson. I like Taniyah Lotson as an all-star as well. I like Cody McMahon as an all-star. Those to me, maybe Awafam, depends on her number, but her numbers don't look Yeah, I don't know. I'd hold off on the Iowa Fam All Star shit. But those are the players I actually think would be All Stars, really. But I'm going to wrap up the live stream right there. We did go a couple minutes over, even though I wanted to keep it at 50. But I appreciate Demonat, you keeping it engaging in the chats, keeping the activity up in the chat. That's going to do it for this live stream. I don't know when I'm going to be back, but I really do. I'm really waiting on an RKO for when this CBA drops, because hopefully I do believe that it will drop. I do believe that it will drop. All this time that they're putting in recently, I do believe that it will drop. So that's going to do it for this live stream. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. I appreciate you all engaging, viewing, leaving comments, liking, whatever, subscribing. I appreciate all of that. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care. Enjoy the weekend. I know it's almost Friday, but enjoy the weekend. Stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Peace.